missed what's been said between Onana and Matic ahead of the Lyon clash, I'm going to explain it all in this video, but there are a couple of really important points I want to make about what was said and the reaction to it, both from United fans and others. Because going into this game, Onana better be more motivated than ever after what has happened. Let's be totally honest, alright? Footballers are pretty boring, because they have to be. Footballers are so well media trained these days that they don't want to say one word wrong because they know it's going to get taken out of context and it's going to get blown up. That's why, typically, footballers are very down the middle. There's not much needle anymore. Nobody says anything about anybody. So, to see a bit of needle between Onana and Matic before the game tonight, I'm all for it, baby. I want more of it. Add some extra layers to games that need them. And there's been a strange reaction to it, and I'll be completely honest. What I want to do quickly is explain to you what happened, just in case you've missed it. Now, Onana, in the build-up to the game, gave an interview, and he was speaking about Lyon. And this is what he said, and this is what this is what led to the Matic reaction. And by the way, nothing here is outside of the ordinary. It's a very good team, speaking about Lyon straight away. We know some of them, but I don't think we have to focus on them. It's more about us and what we're going to do. I think we are better than them. We just have to go there and show who we are. If we go there with a winning mentality, we are focused, they compact together, we follow the game plan, we can be winning. Of course, it's not going to be easy, but I think we are way better than them. That's all that Onana said, all right? Nothing mega offensive, just a bit of self-confidence going into the game, the biggest game of the season. And this was Matic's response when he was asked about what Onana said.
I don't know, to say that you need to have cover for something like that. Onana, I respect everyone, but to say that, then you need to get the answer. If you are one of the worst goalkeepers in Man United history, you need to take care what you are talking. If David De Gea or Peter Schmeichel or Van der Sar say that, then I will question myself. But if you are one of the statistically the worst goalkeepers in Man United modern history, then he needs to show that before he says. So we will see.
Now, I don't have one iota of a problem with anything Matic has said there either. It's a bit of needle. You're trying to get into the head of an opponent before a game. Onana's response, nothing wrong with it either. I will never be disrespectful to another club. We know that tomorrow will be a difficult game. We're focusing on preparing a performance to make our fans proud. At least I've lifted trophies with the greatest club in the world. Some can't say the same. It's a little bit of a little dig there, little haymaker, little cheeky headbutt. It's just two players sticking the knife in, giving it a twist before a game. That's fine. Now, for Onana, he's just put the spotlight on himself. Onana, there's going to be big pressure on you now, and it's self-induced pressure for this game. But one thing I found very, 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 very strange is why am I seeing any United fans standing in the corner of Matic? Oh, yeah, Matic is right. Oh, yeah, great. I think it's because of how underwhelming Onana has been since. But Onana is your player, your United player. Why on earth are you going to be standing in the corner of an opposition player? I actually quite like that little clap back at the end. At least I've lifted trophies. I had to double check to make sure that Matic hadn't won trophies. But I'm looking at this going, there was nothing wrong with what Onana said in the first place. So the reaction was an overreaction. Matic went full Mourinho. You can tell that he's worked under Mourinho in multiple clubs for a long old time in his career, because that's the sort of thing that Mourinho would have done. Onana defended himself, and Onana has now put all the pressure on himself to perform. And the conversation will be happening on the pitch. Matic might not even start for Lyon. But if Onana can help guide United through these two games, I'm telling you, send Matic an Instagram post with 2 free tickets to the complimentary tickets to the semi-final. It's like, I'm not it's kind of following on from this. The chant that happened during the derby at the weekend. I was so confused as to why on earth it was being blown up as something mad and major. It was rival fans ribbing in the derby. And it's the sort of thing you would hear at a Year 9 school game. And it was nothing more than that. It was certainly nothing to be ashamed of. Now, United, Bruno should be going into that dressing room, using that and use that as motivation for the players. Well, if Matic wants to say that about our player, then let's go and prove that on the pitch. And ultimately, the talking will happen on the pitch. But it's just, I quite like this. I think because footballers, and this is a consequence of the media, but because footballers are so scared to say anything that is outside of the ordinary. Oh, we trained well this week, been enjoying it under the gaffer. Oh, yeah, if we shoot more, we'll score more. Just the sanitized, straight down the middle, boring interviews that exist because footballers are so scared to step outside of the ordinary, to say anything outside of the ordinary, to cause any sort of controversy because it's dangerous to do so. That's why I like this. And I hope that Onana can use that genuinely as motivation to play better, because he's put a firm spotlight on himself. He can't blame anybody else for the extra pressure that's on him in this game. The Lyon fans will be booing him every single time he touches the ball now as a consequence of this. That's extra pressure on him to perform. And Onana, well, let's not speak about what he did in the Champions League. It's just, I found it weird that there were any United fans they're so fixed in their opinion of Onana that going into our biggest game of the season, they will stand in the corner of an opposition player because they agree with what he's saying, even if it's against our player. And they'll laugh about it. I find that odd. But United, use that as energy tonight, and I want to see more of that. Bring back a bit of ribbing. Get inside an opponent's head. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing massively offensive about it. You want to talk about the dark arts that happen inside a game of football? Atletico Madrid, the kings of it, going to the corner flag, wasting a bit of time here or there, getting into the head of an opponent before a sporting event. That can make a difference. And if that's what you want to call a bit of dark arts, I would like to see more of it. But it's just the fact that footballers are so scared to do it that you hardly see it. Onana, just have an absolute blinder of a performance, please. All right? Because you need it after doing this. You do.